Here we are, just over a week away from the release of The Witcher on Netflix. Because of the huge success of both the book series and video games, the hype surrounding the release of the show has continued to grow. Don't get me wrong, hype in itself isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there's a catch. Massive hype typically comes with massive expectations, and in my opinion, too high of expectations can destroy a show. If a show with huge hype can live up to its huge expectations, then it typically results in a smash hit. The market is primed and ready for another high-quality fantasy TV series. Game of Thrones certainly had its run, but the disappointing final season left a bad taste in the mouth of many fans. Right now is the perfect time for The Witcher to fill this void, and here are 5 reasons why I think it can succeed. Number 1, an expansive world. A key piece to any successful fantasy series is the world in which the story takes place. The Witcher brings to the table a large, unique, and immersive setting that will act as a pillar of the show. We'll see castles set inside sprawling cities, beautiful mountains, seaside fortresses, and dense forests that are sure to be home to many dark creatures. While the show and its story are independent from the books and games, the expansive world from them is still prominent. This map, posted on Twitter by showrunner Lauren Hisrich, does a good job of displaying the scale of the world that we'll see on the show. There's plenty of ground to cover and exciting places for the audience to discover. That will go a long way in helping the show run for numerous seasons. Number 2, strong characters. When it comes to characters in a TV series, more doesn't always mean better. Sure, a large number of characters can work well and lead to a lot of great plot lines. But to me, having strong, well-rounded characters is the most important factor. What I loved about the Witcher books and games was that they were first and foremost built around the absolutely badass Geralt of Rivia. I could go on and on about why Geralt stands out to me as one of the most prominent figures in modern fantasy. On one hand, he's a ruthless, cold, and brooding figure. But on the other, he's a loyal friend, capable of deep compassion. He's a Witcher of legendary skill, but has weaknesses, and is far from invincible. It's not just Geralt that makes this story work so well. The Witcher is set around 3 key characters. Aside from Geralt, there's Yennefer of Vengerberg, a sorceress and Geralt's longtime lover, and Princess Cirilla, whose path is destined to collide with Geralt's. I'm particularly excited to see Geralt and Yennefer together, as I've always enjoyed their up-and-down relationship and their great chemistry. But we can't forget about Triss Merigold, the other sorceress that shares a storied history with Geralt. Will the show explore a love triangle between these 3? Other important characters will be in the show as well, such as Geralt's friend and companion Jaskier, who you may remember as Dandelion. Jaskier is a lute-wielding bard who accompanies Geralt on many adventures. Plenty of smaller characters will also play a big role in the show. It will be interesting to see who Geralt and the others come across in their journeys. Number 3, monsters and villains. The Witcher is built around Geralt's adventures as a monster hunter, so we're going to see a lot of unique and interesting creatures on this show. But there will be no shortage of human villains as well. Anytime a modern show features monsters, some of which are very large, it walks a fine line between awesome and cringy. CGI creatures can work well, especially in 2019, but bad CGI jumps off the screen and can hurt a show. The few creatures we've seen from the footage so far look pretty good, so I'm hopeful. I'd love to see a mixture of CGI and practical effects to not only improve the look, but to help the effects age gracefully as well. Number 4, epic fights. Fans of the games are very familiar with the iconic steel sword, silver sword combo that Geralt carried on his back. However, he'll only carry one sword to begin the show, though it's been stated that he'll use both throughout the series. Despite how he carries them, we're going to see some epic fights using these swords. Aside from the swords, we know that Geralt's use of magic signs will also be included in fights. There are a couple shots in the trailers showing him using the Ard sign to blast enemies backwards. We also know that he'll use certain potions to prepare for battling specific creatures. Aside from Geralt, countries and kingdoms will also be waging battle against one another, setting the scene for some large-scale, memorable battles. And I don't want to leave out Yennefer and Triss, who have both proven to be powerful forces in battle. We should see plenty of both in action on this show. Will this first season give us a glimpse of Ciri's potential fighting skills? We'll have to find out. Number 5, Roach and Gwent. Okay, so this last one is just for fun. But who doesn't love Geralt's trusty steed Roach? Wait, what about Gwent? Will we see it appear in the show, even as just an Easter egg? We're so close to the launch. I'm very excited to see these great characters in action and to see how the story will unfold. Not exactly a hot take here, but I think this show is going to smash expectations and be a hit for Netflix. Are there any reasons I missed for why this show will succeed? Do you disagree and think the show could flop? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to our channel for more content just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.